Welcome back to the Arca Menards Series Preview Show. I'm Casey Campbell of Great Lakes Post. We are pleased to be always joined by Arca Menards Series PR Director Charlie Krall. A now married man, Charlie Krall.
Hey, how about that?
Congratulations. I know you and now your wife, Ashley, are you're combining your families together, and it's been a good thing. I know it was a big...
Yeah, I don't think the world's ready for this, huh?
The world is definitely not ready for this. More cones added to the...
There will be no more of those, that's for sure.
Okay. Well,
we have already overpopulated the earth enough.
True. Okay, so let's talk about this weekend in Bristol. 31 cars on a short track.
Yeah.
Since 2017.
That was great.
Yeah, it was. And it was good racing all around, and yeah, overall, yeah, it was pretty good. So overall, what are your thoughts on Bristol?
So, it's interesting. We had the biggest car count we've had on a short track in, like you said, about 4 years, and, only 2 lead changes. And I think that goes to show you just how dominant Ty Gibbs has been. That field was as competitive a field as we've seen in deep. There were some really good race cars there. There were some drivers who finished way back in the tail end of the top 20 that I thought were going to be top 10 contenders. It was a very deep field. That's just how good Ty Gibbs is right now. He really is just at the top of his game. It's been a real treat to watch. He and his team perform the way that they have. It's history making. The first driver to win 10 races in the Arca Menards series since 2002. He's already, I think he's in a tie for 14th on our all-time win list, and he's done it in 2.5 years. That is really impressive.
Yeah. And he's only 2 wins away from tying the modern era win record, which is set by
right.
He can't break the modern era win record.
No, he can tie it, and there's only 2 races to go. You think he's got a shot?
I think he does.
I think he does too.
He had a 199 out of 200 2 years ago at Salem, and
yep.
every single lap earlier this year at Kansas. So yeah, I think he's got a pretty good shot at it. And,
I do too.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to see how this plays out. I wanted to mention something to you. I saw this when I was watching other people talk about this race. I know there were 31 cars on a racetrack, and sometimes you're going to have all these different battles on the racetrack and stuff. Particularly as Ty Gibbs was dominant, there were a lot of drivers lap downs and stuff. And and we saw some incidents as well from that. What's the procedure? And I know you guys talked about this before the drivers' meeting.
Procedure for what?
Just lap down cars and when they're racing.
So that's what's funny, Case. So Arca historically had gotten some heat for the lap cars being in the way, and lap cars ruining the race, and all of this. I can remember back in the day watching the social media traffic and all the complaining of all these darn lap cars. And then we go through this little challenging time, and it's a challenging time for everybody, not just Arca, but every racing series out there is really fighting to get cars, and our car counts are down, and that people are complaining that there's no traffic on the racetrack. And now we finally get a full field back on a short track, and again, people are complaining about the lap cars. So what do you want? It's everybody has a right to be out there. Everybody does. It doesn't matter if it's Ty Gibbs or Zachary Tinkle or Don Thompson. Everybody, if you show up and you pay your entry fee and you've got a car that passes inspection, you've got a right to be out there. The only thing that we ask is, when you are off the pace and it's not your day, pick a lane, be predictable. Sometimes what happens is you catch 2 cars who are both laps down. One is 1 lap down, and the other car is 4 laps down, and one is picked to be in the outside lane all day, and the other is picked to be in the inside lane all day, and you've got nowhere to go. Right. That's being a race car driver. You have to, it's not just about going the fastest you can go all day long. You have to be smart. You have to learn how to weave your way through traffic And as I've told you lots of times, Casey, that's what this level of racing is all about. You're here to learn, you're here to gain experience. And part of that is learning how to work your way through traffic. And yeah, some of our race cars, sometimes, Casey, can be a little bit farther off the pace than they would probably like to be. It's all just part of it.
Yep. All right, we got a race this weekend. We're going out to the West Series does. We'll see the main Arca Series next week at Salem. Throwback weekend, right?
Yeah, coming up.
Should be some interesting paint schemes to be reviewed.
Sure hope so.
Next few weeks. I sure hope so too.
Hope so.
He likes to see some throwback paint schemes, and you never know.
Yeah, everybody does, right?
Yeah, Michael Carey might even comment on some of them because you know how much he loves paint schemes. But this week, the Arca West Series is out at the Las Vegas Bull Ring. Of course, we went there 2 times last year. The Star Nursery 150 this weekend for the Arca Menards Series West. Gracie Trotter won this race last year, becoming the first female under the Arca brand to win a race. Of course, Haley Deegan won, which was before the Arca acquisition of what was then the NASCAR K&N Series. So we're in for quite a show this weekend at the Bull Ring.
I think you are going to be in for quite a show, Casey. I don't have the entry list in front of me, and I can't really spill too many of the details for you, but I think we're going to have probably our largest oval track, entry of the season, other than Phoenix, coming up on Thursday night. So it's going to be a deep field. It's going to be a very competitive field. And when you put, and I'm just going to tell you, I think we're expecting 24 cars. You put 24 cars on a bull ring like out there at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, there's going to be some cars running into each other. I expect some beating and banging. I expect some paint swapping and some dinged up fenders. I really do. It's going to be a great race. It's coming up live on Track Pass Thursday night at 11:30 Eastern time. So, look, I know it's late, but ask me if you want, I'll write you a note to your boss, and you can come in a couple hours late on Friday morning. But I highly encourage you to stay up late and watch this one. It's going to be a good show, and I know you won't regret it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of going into this, I know you can't tell who all is in the field, but we did reveal I know some have revealed who is going to be in there. We know that, are we going to see the return of Dean Thompson this weekend? Because I know he was not at Portland last week. Of course, he had to miss Irwindale because of COVID, but it looks like he could be back.
Well, I would expect Dean would be back. So the story there was he obviously missed the race with the COVID protocol at Irwindale. And, once he missed that race, he was out of the hunt for the championship. He is still in the hunt for the California State Championship, where he was. I believe that season has actually ended at this point.
I think he wanted to.
Was still in the hunt for the California State Championship for the all weekly series, the NASCAR weekly series. So, he obviously went and did what the right thing was and went and pursued those points. And, I expect we'll see him back at Vegas. He's had a really good car all season long. You really should have gotten that win at Irwindale the first go around there, and a nil-time caution flag, kind of caught him out. But, I expect we'll see him back, and I expect we'll see him up near the front.
Yep, for sure. Kind of talk about what, we got BMR, Jesse Love's off to a Jesse Love type season. He's been pretty good, pretty dominant so far, but those Sunrise cars, are they going to be in victory lane this year? Because they have not been in victory lane yet.
Yeah, Jesse's had a great season to this point. A couple of wins, both of them at Irwindale. He's been up near the front each and every week. Yeah, I would expect that he's going to be really tough to beat. He had a good couple of races out at the Bull Ring last year. Didn't get a win out there, but he was very strong. And of course, Bill McAnally Racing is always strong on that type of racetrack as well. I feel horrible for the Brancati Sunrise Ford team. They did everything right at Portland. Really did everything right. And whatever your take was on that final restart going into turn one there, the chicane, it's a really tight corner, and whether you thought he got a little push or he just missed the corner or whatever it was, the rule is the rule, and he missed the corner and he didn't stop. That's just a darn shame, because Jake Drew did everything you're supposed to do. And, I hope that they put that behind them and they come out and have a great day. Like I said, I've said this a lot. I don't have a favorite. Everyone's my favorite.
Yeah.
I want them all to win. I pull for everybody. Whether or not, it's interesting. Everyone says, well, you're supposed to be unbiased. Well, I'm biased for everybody. I want everybody to do good, whether it's, whether you're fighting for the win, or you're someone like Bobby Hillis, who, is out there, fighting for top tens. I want you to have the best day you can possibly have. And I do. I hope Jake puts this behind them. I hope they come out and compete for the victory, and whatever happens, happens. I hate that, we were even in a position where we had to make a call. Whether you agree with that call or not, it's not for me to say, but I hate that we were in a position to where we had to make that call. But in any case, I do. I hope they put it behind them and they come out and have a great day. That team has been, close to a win a couple of times this year. I don't know what the deal with Trevor Huddleston has been. They've been really strong. They've led lots of laps this year, and then they get to that final third of these races and something happens. He's just had some horrible luck. So I hope they get that rectified and they come out and have a good race with both the 6 and the 9 cars this weekend. And of course, kind of an offshoot of that program is the 51 with Dean Thompson. I would really like to see all 3 of those cars up fighting for the win.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun show for sure. We'll also have our Portland winner in the field. Taylor Gray will be in the field as well.
Yeah,
so
he will.
of course, he's been pretty good when he goes West racing. He is, and he's a contender to win. And of course, He won at Portland earlier this year. But what's it going to be like to have him out there?
So it's always great to have Taylor in the field. He's competitive everywhere he goes. He's a threat to win, whether it's in the Arca Menards series or the Arca Menards West, Arca Menards East. He is really good everywhere. It's really strange that he hasn't picked up a win in the Arca Menards series so far. He's so competitive. He's finished third, 3 or 4 times. He's been in the top 5, I think 8 of his 9 starts. And, he's stout. He's just a great competitor. And he's already picked up a couple of wins out West, including that race out at Portland. And I would expect that he will be up there knocking on the fenders with Jesse Love and Jake Drew and all those folks. Whenever Taylor's in the field, he's going to try to take it to the front, and he doesn't really care how many feathers he ruffles on the way up to the field, through the field. So he should be a source of excitement come Thursday night for sure.
Oh yeah. 11:30 p.m. on Track Pass. Arca After Dark out here in the East Coast. So get your Red Bulls,
Right.
Get your Taco Bell, and your Reese's peanut butter cups, and your Calypso lemonade, and your Hers chips, and you can watch the race out there.
That's right.
So also, I know that with the NASCAR Cup Series schedule getting released, a lot of people are asking when the Xfinity schedule, the truck schedule, and when the Arca schedule is going to be released. Any updates towards that? What can we expect from the schedule?
I would expect that we will have our schedules released around the same time that we always do. Around Thanksgiving is generally a good estimate on that, Casey. It just takes a while for, once the national tours announce their dates, then we can kind of start plugging in the openings in our schedule. And I think you'll see some tracks make some announcements here in the coming, days and weeks that they have, signed a sanction agreement with us for a race. But our complete schedule, we're still a ways away on that. So doesn't matter how many times you ask me, if I don't have the information, I can't tell you. So you can keep asking, but it's probably going to be around Thanksgiving time.
I know the answer. I'm just for the good people that watch this show, because people want to know.
They do.
So usually
you have to wait.
All
right.
right.
Have to wait. Patience, people. Put your patience pants on.
Yep. I mean, we got 7 more weeks of racing, so I think people can wait for the schedule.
5 races in 7 weeks. I think we'll keep you busy.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for talking about the Vegas Bull Ring. You could tune in Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. on Track Pass here in the East Coast. That's 8:30 Pacific time out in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you can see it on Track Pass. Charlie, of course, will be on the call for that one. So tune in. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next week when we talk about Salem and the second to last race, the penultimate round of the Arca Menards series.
That's right.